So today we have a privilege to have Her Excellency Hatla Tomastadir. She is the President of Iceland. And not just this, she has been an entrepreneur, she has been a leader, and now she is in public service. So a very warm welcome from the people of India, ma'am.
Thank
And
you.
as we are talking about India, so what are the three things that comes into your mind when you think about India?
I think the three things that are top of mind for me is one, incredibly rich and vibrant culture, or cultures, I should probably say. Colorful, long-standing history of rich traditions. Number two, I think I would say that India was absolutely a pioneer when it came to thinking about responsibility towards all stakeholders, and maybe the first to think about how do companies give back to help society. And so I've always been very impressed with that. And the third one, I would be remiss not to say my favorite food. And the best restaurant in Reykjavik is Indian. And some of the best and finest Indian food you'll have anywhere outside of India is here in Reykjavik, Iceland.
Very good, wonderful. So, ma'am, as we know that India and Iceland into free trade agreement, and lot of opportunities are there, and we know Iceland as a country which is very good in technology and in especially in renewable technology. And India, on the other hand, is the fourth largest economy of the world. Very soon it is going to be the third one. So how do you think, what is the main areas of collaboration that Indians and Icelandic governments can do, and where that's people from both the sides can get benefit from?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of opportunities because even if our size differs, I think some of the principles that we organize our countries around are more shared and similar than most people might think. We're both very entrepreneurial and innovative in nature, both technologically advanced, at least for large parts of India, I'd say that's true, and brave people, I would say. And I think bravery matters right now because we're trying to invent the solutions for tomorrow, the companies that will help us solve problems. And Iceland excels in a couple of areas where I think we can offer something that could be of importance where India could help us reach scale. I would start with the blue economy. I mean, yours is very big, but we've been sort of at the cutting edge of 100% utilization of the fish and all of its previously waste products. We have been managing our fisheries sustainably with a long-term vision for a long time. So I think this is very valuable, and there are lots of opportunities in the blue economy where I think we can learn from each other, and maybe you have scale and we have innovation, but it comes together beautifully. I'd say in the green economy, we have been doing sustainable or renewable energy longer than most, and we are almost exclusively run on green energy as a country, and nearly all of our electricity and heating certainly is. And I think there we have some solutions that have been well proven that could be pilots that we could perhaps take to scale in India by learning from each other. So I think when it comes to things like data centers, and where India has absolute global leadership in the IT infrastructure and data centers, we have the green energy experience. And if this comes together, I think those are very much the solutions of tomorrow. But I would say, last but not least, Iceland does lead the world in closing the gender gap. And I have personally been inspired by, and I've witnessed some really brave social solutions and inclusive solutions in India, or that have emanated from India. So I think there we also have some shared experience that maybe we can take even further by working together. So from the blue economy to the green economy to sort of reinventing well-being, or what well-being means in today's world, using technology for the benefit of humanity and not the other way around, is exciting to me.
Right, that's wonderful to hear from you. Ma'am, you are an entrepreneur. You have been an entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur. And a lot of my friends who are entrepreneur and who wants to explore the market of Iceland in various products and services, what is your key message who are watching this interview, young entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I mean, I have been an entrepreneur in a few different ways, and my key message to any entrepreneur anywhere is try to be in service. So I might be in public service now, but even when you are an entrepreneur, try to be in service of a higher purpose. Try to serve on the back of good principles, and you will succeed. To me, success can never be defined to economic growth or financial profit alone, or market size or market share, but is defined to, are you doing good in this world? And I think the entrepreneurs that will be successful in tomorrow's economy will be serving a greater good. So think about your business problem as something that also helps society. Solve that, and you will always find success.
And my information says that you have one time, at least one time, you have visited India and you have you met late Mr. Ratan Tata.
Yes, I had.
What is your view about him? Though he's not more, his values are still there, and it will there for a long time.
Yeah.
What is your experience? Any incident you would like to share about his meeting interactions?
I have had the great pleasure to visit India only once, and it was for an impact investment conference. So I met many people from around the world, but also from India, that are trying to make money a force for good, if you will. And during that time, I was a CEO of a group of global leaders who wanted to make responsible business the new norm. And the late Ratan Tata was part of that group. It was called the B Team. It's called the B Team. And I had the pleasure of sitting down with him. And what really left an impression on me was his strong commitment to the principles of social responsibility of business. And we spoke at length about education and how education is the key to well-being of people and societies and countries and the world alike. So I saw a man who wasn't just a successful businessman, but a man who cared deeply about doing purpose-driven and principled business. And I hope those values live on in everything he's done and other people who follow in his footsteps. And I would allow myself to say that I've met other people that have come from India, that have had the opportunity to be educated in other parts of the world, who have struck a similar note with me. Indra Nui, when she was at PepsiCo, because I worked for Pepsi early in my career, and I met her, and she was trying to drive performance with purpose. And Ajay Banga, now at the World Bank, previously at MasterCard, he talked a lot about the decency quotient. So I have my friend Megan Fallon, who led Barefoot College for a long time, not an Indian person, but worked in India for years. And what I learned from her is how investing in women entrepreneurs, teaching them technology, has turned into a global movement of solar mamas that are changing lives. So I have seen quite remarkable examples of good people with Indian background or home base who have helped us see that doing good business is a very successful way to go.
That's wonderful to hear, ma'am. Ma'am, any comment on the ongoing crisis, geopolitical crisis going between US, Israel, and Iran?
It's a very volatile time right now, and I'm not sure any of us can fully see through the latest development at this point in time. But I will say this, I am an advocate for dialogue, for collaboration, for connections, for peace. And I think a world where we adhere to rules and order is always going to serve all of us better than a world at war. And so I think what we all need to double down on right now is, how do we build bridges, not burn them? How do we collaborate through trade, through arts and culture and education and people-to-people exchanges, and solve our differences in dialogue? How do we talk at least as much and hopefully more about a peaceful world, a just world, than about building weapons or. And frankly, at the end of the day, how do we accelerate a green energy transition? Because the old energy systems are so much a source of tensions and destruction to both our natural and human world. So I think some of the solutions we could work on together between India and Iceland, between Iceland and many countries much bigger than ours, are maybe to be found in the solutions of tomorrow. And hopefully they include smart use of AI, but mostly smart human solutions. And to me, dialogue and human connections are at the heart of the very reason we have the world we now have. And let's not lose it because we forgot about the very things that matter the most: connection to each other, connection to nature, and connection around a purpose that is of greater significance than destruction, which seems to guide too many leaders and too many efforts we see these days.
Very briefly, ma'am, as a member of European Union, would you take any step to take this issue further? To, as you said, that you want dialogue between both the parties, though this is a matter of three countries now. So, any step you are thinking about to take this matter to, to for the on the platform of dialogue?
Well, Iceland is not a member of the European Union, but of the European Economic Area, although the government is contemplating a national vote to see if we would resume a dialogue with the European Union about full membership. That is yet to be
Okay.
decided. I can, at this point in time, I can't speak of specific effort, but I can speak to a very memorable event in my own life and in his experience of Iceland that I think we're all quite proud of. And that is this year, it's been 40 years since Reagan and Gorbachev, then the leaders of the Soviet Union and the United States, met in Iceland and began a conversation that ended the Cold War. We were all very happy to see brought to an end. That happened 40 years ago, and I will never forget the sense of pride I felt that Iceland became a platform for that dialogue that led to a more peaceful world at the time. And I think in its honor, we ought to think about offering this country and place up as a place where people do want to talk about peaceful resolution to our differences. In memory of knowing that we've done that, we are the most peaceful country in the world. And I really think we're missing advocates for peace in today's world. So I will always, in my capacity, try to put peace on the agenda, try to put listening on the agenda, try to put tolerance on the agenda, and the real willingness to understand differences. Because if we are willing to listen, if we're willing to learn, if we're willing to understand differences and build bridges rather than burn them or dig ditches, I believe there are always peaceful solutions available. And call me a stubborn optimist, but I'd rather be a stubborn optimist that a peaceful world is possible than one that gives up to a world at war.
Certainly, ma'am. And I would like to conclude this interview with a very light question. As you mentioned that you loved Indian street foods, so may I know some of the street foods name, if you remember, and the places that you cherished a lot and you want to share with our audience?
You are putting me on the spot because I probably don't know the right names, but I can tell you that at Östur India Félagið, the most famous Indian restaurant in Iceland, and I would say one of the best in the world outside of India, I love every single course on the menu, from the tandoori oven to the tikka masala. I love it all, but in particular, I like the seafood because Iceland is a seafood nation, and they have absolutely amazing versions of Icelandic raw materials and Indian spices and cooking techniques at that restaurant. And people from all over the world have enjoyed a meal at this restaurant and said, it's rare
So it
to
is in
find
Iceland or in India?
This is in Reykjavik.
Okay,
This is in Reykjavik, Iceland, my favorite restaurant. So I said earlier today, and I will say that again, collaboration between Iceland and India is good in the kitchen, and if you can work together in the kitchen, you can work together on anything.
Wonderful, ma'am. I would love to be there if time permits me. And India is going to celebrate Holi festival tomorrow. And Holi is considered the festival where everybody shares joy with each other. They put colors on one another, and we will also play symbolic Holi here.
Very
So,
nice.
any message to the Indians on festival of Holi?
Well, I would like to say enjoy the festival. Thank you for bringing the light. And maybe on the note that we were talking about the volatile and disturbing world we are now facing, it's causing all of us challenges, I think, internally and within our societies. I would just like to quote a couple of lines from a favorite young poet of mine, a young girl who said, "For there will always be light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it." So let us be light.
So, ma'am, would you be kind enough to say Happy Holi to our Indian friends?
Happy Holi. Let us be the light.
Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you.
this was the president of Iceland, Her Excellency Hatla Tomastidev, if I'm pronouncing your
You're
name
doing a
right.
great job. Not easy.
Okay, so thank you so much for your time, ma'am, and I wish that we live in a better world, the world which is led by technology, which is also led by collaborations, and we look forward to having more engagements with Iceland. And thank you so much for your love for the people of India.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.